The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't
Wrestling Mayhem Show 920 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the social medias in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to talk wrestling with you tonight. And of course, I got my trusty showmate, The Riz, is with us of Riz Plays Games. Oh, what happened to your face? There's more of it.
There's more face.
You shaved since Friday.
I shaved.
You shavened.
I feel weird.
You're like, what is all this air
should feel weird.
in this area? All this, what is happening
feel
here?
Weird.
Yes. Well, I feel weird, but that's just because of whatever I ate for dinner, which was not our sponsor. But also with us is...
That's your first problem.
Yes. I could have worded that differently, I guess. No, it was... Anyways, a lot of homemade stuff lately, okay? With us on the show, it's been a long time, probably a really long time, honestly. It's been, but back on the show, he is the Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin.
Good day.
The Punch King to your heart.
Bam. And I have my beard still.
And he has,
Yeah.
I would hope.
I'm
if you
sorry.
showed up without a beard,
If I would have known,
I would have
would've
shut
kept-
the show down. Like, Riz, you didn't get the memo. Look at
Riz,
this.
come on,
Look
bro.
at this. Look
Didn't.
at
I'm
this.
sorry, okay? I'll go back and put it on if you want.
Go put it on.
I
Go
dare
get some
you.
glue. Go get some.
Okay.
Go rip the beard off that Hulk Hogan plushie in the back.
I want you to shave your pubes and glue them to your face.
And glue 'em right, yeah.
Some jackass style.
There you go. There you go.
That's-
We have options. We have time. And that's okay. Most people are on the audio version. So they're just visualizing. This is theater of the mind. And
I mean-
if you forgot what Riz's chin looked like, now you know is the time to think
I got a
about
little
it.
dimple right here. Got a
Well,
little
there
dimple.
you go. Look at that masculine dimple there.
You
Look
can
at that going
you
on.
can wipe your ass and blow your nose at the same time.
You got the dimple thing going on there. You got a strong chin under
Yeah.
that, or is
It's
there a
a butt
reason for the
chin.
beard? It's a butt chin.
Yeah, that's how.
Are you a distinguished butt
butt
chin?
chin.
No,
Yeah.
I got a nice chin though.
Yeah. Okay. I can't tell. I can't tell with that.
Well,
There's too much hair in the way.
use your imagination.
I'll
sir.
use my imagination. There you go. We are streaming a bunch of different places, including the IndyWrestling.us TikTok tonight. So hello, TikTokers tonight. We're testing this. I don't know how well this is going to work. It's a whole new thing. They've let us in. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they'll kick us out after our 14
Foot
days.
is in the door.
The foot is in the door, yes. But anyway, so we are here ready to go with this. But anyways, let's get into the wrestling. We got plenty to talk about with Victor Benjamin. The new gym, the Punch King gym, fitness gym that's just
Man,
opened up. We'll be
Pittsburgh's
talking
nose
about that.
craze.
You've been going to Paris. You have a hat that I want to talk about.
So many things.
So many things. We have so much to catch up on.
I'm a man of many hats.
We don't
sir.
get to work shows as much anymore together. So
I
there's so
know.
much to catch on up to.
Yeah,
I feel-
definitely.
I
So
feel
much.
like I see the lady more often than you, but
But that's because she's on TV.
no, not even on
Is-
TV. Like you're just like you guys are wandering around at Taco Mania and stuff. You know,
Yeah. Just
I love it.
random.
I love it. Despite you guys are busy. You're all over the world, but you're still just hanging around Pittsburgh, and that's great to
We're
see.
incognito. We like to be
Incognito.
home when we're home.
There you go. I like that. I like that. I'm relearning how to do that actually with myself.
So are we.
So yeah. But anyways, let's get into it. A lot of news for the week. First thing I wanted to kind of talk about is friendship in professional wrestling. At least pictures of friendship in professional wrestling. The wrestling news was on fire when there was a tweet earlier this week where the one Drew McIntyre hanging out with one former Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. The tweet was deleted. The tweet was deleted, but it was referenced by Michael Cole on Raw on Monday night.
Oh, wow.
So it's in that CM Punk trolling thing going on here, which seems absolutely perfect.
Now that's savage.
It's exactly right. I mean, and you gotta love the whole Drew Seth, mostly Drew and CM Punk stuff. I mean, you've seen it on social media, I'm sure. Like this has been like a wonderful, and I can't these words going together. A wonderful, delightful troll fest between two individuals.
Yes. They're, you know why? Because they're professionals.
Yes, and they know,
Yes.
and maybe there's like a separation here. You're like, man, they must really not like each other, but enough to do a match.
Yeah.
Enough to do business, right?
Being professional, but also hating each other's guts.
It's
I've
right.
been there.
You've been there.
I've
yes.
been there. It's not fun, but you do your job.
Absolutely, absolutely. But then you can, I don't want to say take liberties,
Sure.
but you can do more with that to make the fans, There's a really good, I was listening to a clip from Nick Nemeth from I think it was Busted Open Radio, and he was talking about that idea of like, you know, the idea of like, okay, we know there's animosity here. And we know, you know, supposedly these guys don't like each other, but now like they're doing this and they're taking pot shots at each other to that whole like you don't know where the line is anymore. That stuff that was so great back in the 90s for the Attitude Era, right?
Absolutely. And like, listen, you draw this line in the sand, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know." No, if I don't like you, I don't like you.
But that doesn't mean, you know, and in wrestling you have to get over that to do business, right?
Yeah.
So, but, you know, either way, listen, these guys are making a lot of money to not like each other. So they're going to do the business.
You have
They're
to
going
make
to
it
do the
real and
business.
make it. You can make it real and make it money.
Yeah,
in both
exactly.
ways.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people don't like each other in wrestling and do business, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, it's there's a lot of interesting personalities, and they don't always mesh well. But as long as you do in the ring, that's what matters, right? So
Absolutely.
But to one up that, apparently CM Punk. Apparently, it's just like I remember there was who was it that got fired for being in the crowd and being seen at like a you know,
Robbie or Rory, one of the Highlanders.
One of the Highlanders got because
It was either Robbie or Rory. I
they
think
popped
it was
up at TNA, didn't they? That's ironic.
Yeah, it was Rory
Okay.
because Robbie says I'm Robbie and he was bald. Yeah, it was the guy with the hair.
There's a guy with the hair. Okay.
What are you trying to say? What are you getting at? Someone against bald guys?
I'm saying Robbie was the smart one because he didn't show up there.
Notice he's the one that's not here in the studio.
Correct.
Yeah, that's also
Yes.
true.
Yes. Yes. So you can't take the heat. But anyways, but to I don't know if this is a one up or what, but CM Punk hanging with his favorite AEW people, Brody King and Darby Allin there. So there you go. Apparently we can do whatever the fuck we want on social media these days, I guess.
It's the Wild West. Vince McMahon is dead.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want when we want.
Exactly. Yep. Well, it was even
break it down.
There's even a comment like Punk said that like Vince leaving was what opened the door to him coming back.
Well, also, I mean, look what it did for NXT. Insane.
A lot of those
business is good right now.
Business is very good, and with somebody in charge that kind of understands how business works these days.
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of makes all
not stuck in the 70s.
Not stuck in the 90s, baby.
All of the above.
Not stuck in 2001 when it wasn't good.
Fair.
There you go.
Yeah, that was better. That's better. That's a better choice.
I mean, I can't say they're doing like the 80s stuff. I can't say they're doing the 90s stuff. They're doing this weird middle. They were doing this weird middle of the road thing that didn't make any sense and had terrible skits of
so
Bobby
bad.
Lashley's like cross-dressed sisters or whatever. That was like god awful, right? Wasn't one of them Max Caster back then?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like it just, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, obviously, you know, when we've talked about over the last few weeks, how it's like AEW's for where you go for wrestling, WWE's where you go for wrestling stories, and that's it. It's kind of like pick what you want, you value most out as a wrestling fan, and it's you know, and you're going to be well served, whichever way you want to go. You're going to be very well served
for everyone. Almost every single day of the week now.
Absolutely,
so you can't go wrong.
Absolutely, a little harder.
And you know what? If there's not, you know what you can do?
Tune into YouTube.
Go to YouTube
or IndyWrestling.us.
Boom, cheap plug.
Where's the
early plug? No, that's later. That's later. That's later.
Where's the
segment.
thing?
That's a later
Put
segment.
the thing up, Storm.
No, not yet. I got to do everything. I got to do everything by the book here. Smooth like an android's bottom, says Dave Ponner. I think we're talking about our chins here. I hope.
No, there's no. Like I still
or
have
my
stomach,
bald
it's
head.
fine.
One of the two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave Ponner is having some peanut butter as a snack in honor of your appearance on the show.
Tremendous.
There you go.
That's what I love to hear.
The peanut butter stock is going up tonight. If
the peanut butter platoon is in the building.
Yes. And there's a lot of butt chin stuff happening in the chat right now. So
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what?
You're welcome.
I shouldn't.
You shouldn't have shaved. That's
okay?
what happened. You should.
I shouldn't have shaved for this show.
I'm a gentleman. I'm also a savage.
There you go.
That's yeah.
We got to get him some of that beard oil there. So,
I mean, don't worry. Next week it's gonna be.
It'll be
all the way
full
back down
on.
here.
He's gonna have a full on goatee. You're gonna look like Victor over here in a week. He's like his face is like a weed. Anyways, moving on. I'm kind of curious what interesting team-ups we'll get beyond that. I'm presuming that happened at Comic-Con because everybody was at Comic-Con this weekend.
I wasn't.
except for us.
No,
But AEW,
not everybody.
AEW, WWE, Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ. Yeah.
Yeah, is he just RDJ now? Is that what we're doing?
But
I mean,
it's
he's
like
evil
Odell
now, so it's
Beckham
fine.
Jr., you know, OBJ.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
The other big news from this week is there was a lot of back and forth about apparently MVP and Bobby Lashley are rolling out a contract for WWE. I haven't seen him on TV for a good while. I think MVP popped up at Bloodsport, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah?
and Barnett put him over huge. He was
Nice.
like, I can't wait till everyone gets to see the real MVP. Apparently, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, which
I remember hearing that.
shocked me when I saw that this weekend because you know I was watching.
Of course.
You know, because I have a vested interest in the business.
Yeah,
of course.
you've participated in the Bloodsport. Yes,
a few times.
Yes, and Frost has as well.
Yes.
So, that's the first time I tuned into Bloodsport to see what you guys were up to.
Oh,
actually,
yeah. Nice.
So, but yeah, beyond that, you know, we are also seeing. We're not sure what's happening with Daniel Garcia, because he's kind of mid-contract expending kind of thing. That's why he kind of got murdered on TV a few weeks ago. The Lucha Brothers are apparently set to expire here in the coming months. So, but I think, you know, this is, you know, not to talk like, I think this is the way it's going to be. Like, oh, no, that's a great loss. Oh, they're not doing anything with Bobby and MVP. They're not doing anything with the Lucha Brothers. They're just going to go away. I think you're going to start, like, I think this is the start of you're going to start seeing, like, everybody interweaving back and forth between the promotions, right?
A true forbidden door.
Exactly. Like, literally, like, we could be in a world where in the next, like, 4 months, Lucha Brothers are over on WWE doing some stuff, and Lashley and or MVP are over on AEW doing something, right? And that's not, like, to a detriment. Like, they're, you know, maybe they need a refresh. Maybe they need, you know, want to see if the grass is green on the other side. But either way, if they're not like a mainstay at WWE or AEW, why not?
Correct. Why not? Why not? And to touch on that a little bit more in depth, right? You get the crossover market. Just look at, you know, Joe Hendry, for instance,
Oh
right?
my God, the
Yeah.
Joe
He
Hendry situation.
absolutely killing it right now because of
Yes.
this.
He's being rocketed to a superstar at this point.
Yes.
You know,
I believe.
Exactly. Like, this guy has put so much work behind him stuff. I'm loving the interviews that are popping up. And now that to take what he has done for himself and then putting a WWE machine behind him,
Oh, yeah.
damn,
Whenever we were down Baltimore for the Ring of Honor dojo, that's when he was like just kind of exploring the whole Ring of Honor situation. But I think he was injured, came back, and he had that music. And I'll never forget that music because at the time I was like, oh, this is great. But here we are 6 years later.
Yeah.
And now, you know, overnight success, right? Just like LA Knight.
Yep.
Overnight success. But no, really, I mean, it took some time. But
Yeah.
now it works. Like you said, the machine.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause LA Knight's another guy. I remember, what was his name? Eli Drake, I think, in TNA,
Yep.
over in NWA were some of the best promos. You know, and you see, if you look back at those promos, you see the little bits, you know, kind of starting to form. I love going back and go and see, like, okay, this is where this came from. This is where this came from, and it turns into the fully molded thing we see today, right? Like, I remember his drunk promo at NWA.
Shoes of champion.
Shoes of the champion.
Shoes.
Yes. So, but it's like you didn't have. God, everything comes with Deadpool and Wolverine now I think about it. But, you know, you needed all that before to be
I didn't watch it.
dumped into.
Don't you give me any
No,
spoilers.
I'm
Yeah,
not going
I'm
to
gonna
spoil
take my
you.
headset
I'm
off,
not going to
but you
spoil
go
you.
ahead.
No, there's just a sentiment that, you know, is about, I'm not going to get into it
Okay.
because you're going to
Okay.
I'll jump across this table.
But either way, you need to have those experiences to get to become
Yes.
the person you are today, you know, for better, worse, and different, weird paths that may be. You are not. Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't become Stone Cold Steve Austin without his years as the Hollywood Blondes and
The Ringmaster.
the Ringmaster and the stint in ECW. You know, Stone Cold doesn't just appear. Right,
Correct.
he has that foundational thing. He becomes this necessity because I think he was working injured at the time, you know, and of course what happened after the neck injury. You know, it's, you know, then we have to have him versus Regal several years later to remember. Oh, right, he could go with like Ricky Steamboat, you know,
Right.
back in the day. You know, that whole development needs to happen.
And you can see, like, along those same lines now with guys that are not even in AEW or WWE. Like you look at Matt Cardona, he made a name for himself. Effie made a name for himself. Even like Nick Gage made a name for himself.
Yes.
Like there are ways to go around the machines that are AEW and WWE where let's say like Bobby Lashley, he can go to Defy for a while. He can go to he can go anywhere he damn well pleases, and he would probably do amazing.
I'm sorry, just imagining Bobby Lashley at Defy for a moment there. That would be amazing in that room.
He would look gigantic.
He would look that, yeah, he would, because it's not a big room to begin with.
No, it's not.
So,
Right.
But anyways, but yeah, no, it's
like there's more paths now than there were 5,
absolutely
10 years ago.
There was a great clip I saw of Mark Cardona. I think this is a seminar or something that he's speaking at, and he talked about when he was presented with taking on Nick Gage at GCW the first time, and he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing deathmatch. And he's thought about it for a second, was like, oh my God, I'm the ex-WWE guy doing a deathmatch. Everybody's going to look at this. And he said it was like the best thing he could do for his career because it really made him stick out. He wasn't just like some ex-WWE guy doing the same shtick, just on the indies. He was just like, oh, and now I'm the Deathmatch King. I mean, when we saw him at Warrior, he was wearing the Indie God Indiana Jones thing, right? Like
the reinvention and evolution of characters. And I mean, and you've seen my evolution, right? Like it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's the only way you stay relevant, right? Like unless you have the shtick that has been the character for X amount of years and you're on TV and everyone knows that.
Weren't we just talking about social media and you said like, hey, the numbers are fine? I was like, then you got to do something new on there, Like, and I think we're talking about features and algorithms and things like that, but it is kind of the same concept, right? Yeah. Oh man, I'm not getting as much X. Okay, how do I change this? What more do I add to this? How do I get people's attention again? What do we do different? How do I present this a different way? It could be the same thing, but how do I present it a different way to kind of move
wear
forward?
A different hat.
You wear a different hat. Sometimes literally, right? So, and there's a couple people doing that. I want to talk about hats so bad. But anyway, so much going on there, and we'll talk about a bit more wrestling. We'll talk about, hey guys, we talk about copyrights on the show in the past. See our show with David Lawless and Matt Connard from back in the day. But there was a fun thing coming up here from a former wrestler name that became a domain, and so much more. We'll get into all that. But in the meantime, I want to give a shout out to our friends at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Maybe you're watching right now. We do have a special Patreon only feed. We try to put it on a little bit before the stream, or we get it on late because one reason or another, because stuff gets waylaid between shows, but ideally you get all this stuff while you're seeing graphics on screen or in that break in between, or just straight on you see the Patreon recording live, and maybe we'll be talking about X-Men movies. Who knows what's going to happen? Haven't talked to the Mad One in a while this evening, so there's a lot to catch on up to, obviously, but thank you everybody who does support the show there. It does help us keep going and help us know that you guys really are invested in this thing, and we need to keep this thing going. Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Thank you everybody that is supporting the show, including our friends at the fan of the show level. Bo Diggity! Woo!
Wow, that did not work too well.
Did you lose your falsetto with that goatee?
I guess.
Team Hammerfist down in Florida. Tupac family. Megan Nelson, Bubba Brewer. Go check out APWF here coming up in Johnstown in August. And Jason French. And the Poppy Club level, Dave Profmod Partner, sponsor Roost Jewelry Affair at roostjewelryaffair.com. Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid. And at the Pizza Club level, The Riz. And at the manager level, Bradley. You know what happens when you're a manager? The manager can lure you into their house and show you his T-shirt collection. That just went up on YouTube.
Why were you in his house?
This is 2 years in a row that Bradley has invited me to McSummerfest in McDonald, PA, where the headliner on the first night is Bon Journey.
That's right.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
And the drummer happens to cut Bradley's hair. So, so it's a nice little fair, one of those like put on by the volunteer fire department kind of things. It's a quaint little town. It's just up from Robinson. It's really easy to get to, and it's kind of a nice little fair summer, and I'm usually not doing anything at the end of July for some reason. So it's worked out really well for us. And last year he showed me his entire T-shirt collection, and now we're going to show you. It took him 28 minutes to get through it. It's basically the history of independent professional wrestling in his closet. Like it's like people that buy like Reebok shoes. Like I see like the Young Bucks buy a shoe, buy one to wear, buy one for the collection deal. He did that with several T-shirts. Oh, wow. Right, and it's wild to see the names that come up in here. The our old RJ City shirts, old Jock Sampson shirts, things like that. It's pretty wild. So if you're interested, go poke at that a little bit, and especially if you're know a lot about or want to know more about Pittsburgh professional wrestling. It's an interesting visual journey, I suppose, right? So that's up on the YouTube channel. We're going to have some clips of it are going to be going up on some other social media here in the coming days. So keep an eye out for that on Wrestling Mayhem Show social media. So I forgot a manager. Did somebody upgrade? Did I miss a notification here? Hold on. I'm verifying.
Hold.
Hold, please.
Hold.
Oh, there's a notification here. No, that's about creating.
Oh.
Still holding. Riz, hold it.
Oh, we have free members. I see we have free members over there as well. What manager?
Oh, hi, free members.
Hello, free members. Hello as well. You do get the show. You do get it in the Patreon app. The Patreon app's actually pretty cool for I've been actually listening to a lot of podcasts that I follow through there. And I'm going to select a tier. Tina Keys, when did you become a manager again?
What?
Last change? Oh, last week. Manager Tina Keys, the mother of dragons. We're going to add that to the thing. I usually get an email about that, so I apologize for
Must have been part of the airplane tech outage.
Yes. Oh, was it? Did you get crowd struck? Oh God! Where's somebody out there's done a Thunderstruck parody, right?
Yes.
Anyways,
Of course.
let's bring it back home. Okay, let's bring it back to Pittsburgh or Greater Pittsburgh. Victor Benjamin, you have a new venture. You are no stranger to ventures, the pro wrestling venture, the MMA venture, the boxing venture, and now you're bringing it all together into Punch King Fitness. Tell me, what the hell is Punch King Fitness, first of all?
Well, that's why I'm the elite combat athlete. Everything and everything, combat athletics. But Punch King is exactly what it sounds like. Punch King Fitness is a boxing, kickboxing fitness studio. We opened up 3 weeks ago, literally brand new. Members are coming in, signing up daily. It's been such a warm welcome. We're up in the Wexford area, Franklin Park, right across from Sorgel's.
Oh, that is that's a produce place, right?
It is,
if I'm not
it
mistaken.
is
Yeah.
the apple orchard, the pumpkin patch. So fall festivities are going to get mighty savage.
And from the neck of the woods that Christina Aguilera is from as well.
Correct. But what we do different at our gym, we're class-based structure, so we have boxing, kickboxing, boot camp classes. However, we still offer personal training. We offer recovery. We have a full-size boxing ring, but the bags, that's the selling feature. Look at those things.
Whoa.
They are ergonomic.
Ooh.
They are custom made. Punch King is the only gym in the world that has them. They're ergonomic for your hooks, your uppercuts. But if you see those TVs on the screen, they track your metrics in real time and give your punch expenditure. Also, we have heart rate monitors that will check your heart rate and your calories burned every single session. So you're not only competing against yourself, but you can compete against every single person in a class in real time.
Wow. That's a big. So this is like, it's not just like a gym. Like, this is a high-tech gym.
High-tech meets fitness. Listen, you know me. If I'm doing something, I'm doing it the right way, and I'm going all the way in. There's no way I was opening up just another gym in the city that everyone can go to on every neighborhood. Yes.
It's kind of like what I say about wrestling shows. There you are giving some training there. It's like, why am I going to go to your wrestling show instead of another one in town? It's like, why am I going to go to your gym instead of another one? And this is it right here.
This is it.
Because nobody else has this kind of things, right? So
right.
That's great. So tell me, like, you're talking about the ergonomics of something like this. Like, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about actual.
So the heavy bag has not been reinvented in over 100 years.
The heavy bag that we saw on Rocky all those years ago.
They're exactly the same still. Everything has been evolved. We just talked about it, evolution, evolve or die. But that's what we did, except now we added technology into the heavy bags, but more importantly, the notches that are cut into these bags are specifically designed to enhance your punch output or your kicks or your knees. But it mimics a human head and also mimics a human torso, the groin and the stomach area. So all your strikes are 100% accurate. Boom, right there. That guy right there. I got that shirt on right now.
There you go. It feels right. It feels right, like you're in there, right?
That's me.
And I noticed that they're adjusted for different heights.
Yes, there's adult height, and then there's kids and women height. Yeah, my wife will appreciate that one. And then we got Coach Madison right there hitting on the one heavy bag, putting it to work. But these things, they are made to take a beating. They have a 3-point anchor system, so they'll never spin like traditional heavy bags either. So you have 100%.
And that's a
direct striking.
And
it's straight. It doesn't even like move on you. That's
correct.
Actually pretty good.
And we got a whole fitness side over there also. Kettlebells, heavy bags, landmines, assault runners, assault bikes, turf, sleds, everything that you could possibly want in a gym, we have it.
Awesome. So I say, Riz, you have the fitness training kind of background here. I'm gonna hand this over to you for more questions. Then.
Sure. I mean, like honestly, this is one of the big, like, I don't really have, like, how did you come up with like the concept of like making it more ergonomic and also making it almost like a game? Like, it took game for you, the fitness levels, the punch ergonomics, like that stuff. How did you come up with like that style for a gym? Like,
so I can't take credit for that. That's where my partners come in. King Lee is the creator and inventor of the heavy bag, and he was looking for a way to market his heavy bag. So he created Punch King, which then happened to fall into my lap. But the metric tracking technology is via Impact Wraps. And a couple other places have them, but we're the predominant gym. But we're the only gym that has that heavy bag system. So combining the two together makes everything that we do so much more efficient. But also, that's what draws the crowd in. Because how do you separate yourself from everyone else in the world that has a gym? You do something different.
Especially this town, like we have a UFC gym in town now, like an actual branded UFC gym. I don't know how many MMA gyms, boxing gyms, things like that. This definitely like looks different.
Like, it looks like it's a combination of like a kickboxing gym, of a CrossFit gym, of a regular.
Don't you dare
like,
say CrossFit gym.
I'm
How
not.
dare you?
It's a combination of a lot of different.
It is a squat rack, sir.
ideas.
It is 100% custom built with a trolley system that those heavy bags could just slide right out of the way.
Okay,
And it
all right.
becomes an entire fitness gym.
Totally apologize. I didn't mean to
I accept.
insult.
You're welcome.
I was thinking we should have had a visit before we did this interview, but
Yeah, I've like Sorg mentioned, I am like really into trying to get back into fitness shape.
I love fitness
So,
too. Fitness
yeah.
pizza from Slice in my mouth.
I think there's a slice up your way, isn't there?
There it
Yeah,
is.
Nice.
there is.
There you go. Another reason to go up there.
I think that might be the only one I didn't try yet.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I think you got a day trip.
Bam.
Get your ass kicked.
Double
and,
down.
get your ass kicked and then have some.
Kick my ass at the heavy bags and
Yeah.
go to Slice on Broadway.
Get your Punch King in, and then
We'll have
followed by
Sorg
the
film it.
pepperoni pizza. Punch pepperoni pizza. I'm workshopping that.
That's okay. I'll let you pass
I'll work
it
on that.
over.
I'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Okay.
We'll find.
It's a
We'll
work
find
in
something.
Next time.
progress.
Yes.
Next time.
There you go. This is awesome. So, obviously, this is something you're still wrestling. You still got a bit. We're going to talk about. You just came from France, so you still got that schedule. How is you've actually always been kind of doing the fitness training and everything
Yes.
this whole time. So like this actually, other than like you're running a business now, like this kind of fits into what you've been doing already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's on brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do is combat sports oriented.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of personal training over the last couple of years. The flexibility, the freedom allows me exactly what I need in order to do my pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Have the weekends off, or hey, someone calls me, I got this opportunity. Hey guys, I got to be on TV this weekend. Most of them were very understanding, so thankful.
And usually, if your trainer says, I got to be on TV this week, you kind of can forgive it.
Yes.
Probably, right? So
they're like, oh, my trainer's going to be on TV. It's cool for both of us.
yeah,
or
exactly.
all of us involved.
No, that's a cool spot to be.
But it was time, an opportunity presented itself. The wife and I really didn't have plans to do this yet. We had 3 more years before we were going to dive into the gym business on our own. But again, an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up presented itself, and here we are, and now we have our own gym.
Yeah.
Because what married couple doesn't share everything? And I love the fact that her and I literally get to do every single thing together.
No, it's great. I mean, again, seeing guys, whether it's one or both of you at shows booked, like you were always there supporting each other. That's really awesome to see over the past several years.
Or throwing snowballs at their opponents.
Yeah, exactly. So no, and we saw the return of Miss Fit Brit. I saw.
Yeah, Fitness Brit. Yeah,
Fitness Brit. Yes. Which I think we talked about that brand when we talked with her on the show in the past.
Yes.
So it's cool to see that old vibe returning here,
right,
for something like this.
It's so awesome, and we got so many more things in the works also with what we're doing at the gym. We have a brand of supplements. We have our own supplement line about to launch. We are in works with increasing our recovery studio, so where we get a sauna and a cold plunge, and we can do some contrast therapy. That way, all the work that you put in a gym, you can heal yourself in a much more efficient and adequate time.
That's nice.
It's
and again, like a lot of gyms around this area don't really have that aspect to it either. They just have that gym aspect, and then it's like, okay, you're done with the class, go. Like I've like
just wander out to the nearest ice cream parlor after your workout. Basically, that's terrible.
Right. I mean, I tried to think of possibly everything that I could. We have meal prep from Longevity Life. We have supplements, RTG drinks from Commonwealth Nutrition in the fridges built into our desk right when you walk in. We got our merchandise and everything like that too. But
at a certain point when you're building something like this, I know when I started building like my own podcast studio, it's just like, okay, what's my wish list? Like, it's like this scenario, like I want this here and a window here kind of thing. Are you kind of building the gym you want? Is this your wish list that you're kind of fulfilling at this point?
100%. Like, I'm still acquiring toys daily. Like we've been open 3 weeks and I'm like, ooh, what else can I get? And right now I'm talking to Explore Ice about getting us a cold plunge, and a cold plunge that's going to fit real size humans, not to where you're stuck in this little ice barrel, but like where you can actually sprawl out and someone that's 6'5" can fit in it comfortably.
So talk to me about, obviously you're an experienced combat sports competitor. And you're talking a couple of soft bodies and me and Riz here. Sorry to speak for you here, Riz. But
no, that's fine.
He's
no,
like, no,
I'm soft.
Acknowledge. For somebody
I admit I'm soft.
For somebody who wants to get into something like this as a, to start or enhance or step up their fitness journey, what are your kind of recommendations? Obviously, you have all kinds of levels of classes here to get people started. But, I know for me, it was always, for me, getting in a gym was really intimidating, right?
Yes.
Like I've gone dragged to the LA Fitness when when I've had a membership. I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do with anything like this, and boxing is such a high impact, it's
very intimidating, and it's not lost on me. And that's a very good question, because we get that asked daily by people that walk in, but also they see me, the tattoos, the beard, my physique, and they're like, man, I don't want to train with that guy. He's a professional athlete. But that's the beauty of what we're doing. Not only is everything being tracked in real time, but on our 65-inch TVs, the entire combinations for your workout is there digitally, so you can see and walk yourself through. But I break everything down. I spoon feed you. So literally, people that have never competed, that have never even stepped foot in a gym, excel in our gym because of the programs that we set up. It's not, it's not by accident. It's
not hopping on a Peloton or an Apple Fitness and getting lost.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And it's not going into a gym and being overwhelmed by 47 different pieces of equipment that you have no idea how to operate.
Yeah.
No. Myself or the other trainers that we have at the facility are literally going to guide you from the warm-up to the fundamental training rounds, to the actual rounds, to the core work, to the cool down, even where the wipes are. Hey, sanitization is very important. Wipe your stuff off. We're a brand new facility. We want everything nice and clean. We want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But literally, we're doing so many things that other gyms are not doing. We are offering basic classes. We are also offering adults and kids class simultaneous because of parents, especially when school starts. Everyone's busy. You can't drop the kid off and then go get a workout in. So the beauty of what we're doing is they can come and work out with their child at the same time, or the kid can come, do his workout, and then the mom and dad can go run some errands if need be. So like I said, we try to think of everything, and we're still workshopping things. We actually just had a woman in tonight, and she had some great ideas for us, which we were already on top of. But like, we appreciate the feedback because sure, I want it to be what I want, but inevitably I need it to be what they want.
Yeah, you're not the soccer mom trying to fit this in, right?
No, right.
So you have to think around all those things. You're the person that's been dedicated for this for decades at this point.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And is there also like in that same mindset, is there like a tracking system where like
There is.
you can
So
track
get
your
emailed.
classes in email form?
Yeah, so as soon as your class is over, literally, bam, email comes up.
Okay, that's amazing.
You have received
because I know
X,
like,
Y,
for-
Z.
like
And-
for gyms that I go to and do all that stuff, like they ask for like what's your max on this? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. What I don't know what my max is, and I've done this for
should
years.
Should
and I'm
I
like,
know? Is that something I should be aware of?
But-
I don't know.
But it's like having that digital footprint and being like, hey, there's my email. That's how much I did before.
Exactly.
That's
Gone
what
is
I
the
like.
days
I like doing
of
that.
having to track your workouts in a notebook.
Yeah.
We're doing it all for you digitally. We are revolutionizing the gym experience. It's fitness reimagined. We're taking the next steps for you. So just hypothetically say someone scores 60,000 points tonight, they can see that in the next week, they might have an off week. They might be at 40, 45,000, or they're up at 75,000. And they can really see the amount of output that they put in, but also that allows them to stay accountable in their real life situations. Because we have people come in, that you have work, you have kids, real life situations come up, and they actually perform better because they're able to relieve stress that way.
I mean, what better way to relieve stress than punching a bag?
Punching, kicking, knees, elbows, like just a few of my favorite things.
Yeah. I mean, and going back to the point thing, what constitutes the point system?
So
Like,
it's an accelerometer. It's force by velocity. And there's no true digital number that's like, hey, your right-handed punch is X amount of points. It's you remember Ivan Drago's super secret lair from 1986? Well, yeah, we actually just made that in real life now, just a couple decades later.
Awesome.
okay,
Awesome.
that's
So,
awesome.
Punch King Fitness that's up in the Wexford area.
Right next to Sir Pizza.
Right next to Sir Pizza. There you go. So
Not a sponsor.
not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
No, I didn't say that.
No. just locational because it's Pittsburgh and everything is by landmarks. So
We're right off 79. We're so conveniently located, too. That's the beauty of it. You hop off right there, 1 minute, you're at the gym.
I like it.
Plenty of parking. That's the other thing I thought of, because I have friends that work out in the Strip District.
Yeah.
They can never find parking.
Good luck.
And they also get cancellation fees if they show up late to their class.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're paying $200 a month for a membership, and then you get hit with a $35 fee because you couldn't find freaking parking. No, thank you. Not in my gym.
Nope. There you go. Customer first. Go. Punch your heart out.
And we're
Pittsburgh.
also offering a founding members discount rate right now too.
Good.
We got, I think, 8 spots left, to hit our first 50 members, but we're offering 20% discount off any of the memberships.
Awesome. So Punch King Fitness, that's the address is Punch King Fitness punchkingfitnesspittsburgh.com, correct? And I think that's the same, Punch King Fitness Pittsburgh on most of the social medias, and Mayhem just followed you. I know I got it on the personal. I don't even always get the podcast accounts. But anyways, really cool thing. I've been watching this as you've been, at least on social media, as you've been building up to. I know we've been chatting on the backside too. It's really cool to see you building something. Obviously, worked with these guys on one of your other ventures with WrestlePit a couple years ago, which was a lot of fun to work with you guys on that.
Very entrepreneurial.
Very entrepreneurial. One of, if not one of the most, some of the most entrepreneurial people I know in the wrestling business.
Never put your eggs in one basket.
I like that. So, and completely on brand for this crew. So, Punch King Fitness. We're going to talk more about wrestling and hats here in a moment, but in the meantime, go check out IndyWrestling.us. We got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, this show, amongst the things happening on IndyWrestling.us channels, including over on the TikTok, over on the YouTube page, a lot of great matches coming up there. We just had this past week, of course, our usual Thursday night fights, training nights. That's both training for the wrestlers and training for our video producers as well. If you're interested in getting into video production, whether it be on camera, behind the scenes, hit us up at the good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Thank you. And then we'll get you connected with the form and everything to fill out for that. But also a lot of great stuff, including this weekend. We do have 2PW Prospect Pro Wrestling's Fahrenheit show with a lot of good stuff. The Beastman will be coming back from Japan for this. I think this might be the Beastman's first appearance since his Big Japan Wrestling and of course, no official Beastman in Japan. Actually, we are looking to book the Beastman in studio and see if he writes on my wall again here in August in a few weeks. So I'm hoping to get some firsthand discussions with him about how that went. And of course, a lot of great matches happened there. Of course, the newest champion, Preston Everest, is a part of that over there, and a lot of great matches going on.
It kind of looks like Super Hentai.
He looks kind of like Super Hentai. Oh, somebody's been definitely in West Newton for that. But a lot of other great matches going on. Of course, the Rev Ron Hunt and Jason Gorey going at it. And also programming at the Rev will be on next week on this show, I believe, if I have my schedules right. He's gone the Rough and Rowdy down to Wheeling on pay-per-view.
Yeah. So fun fact.
Yes.
He's already in contact with me, and he will be getting some private lessons with yours truly at Punch King Fitness.
There you go. This is nice. That's a nice back-to-back guestness there, isn't it? Felix Cause against Tyler Brooks. Of course, Tyler Brooks, one of the troublemakers that we had here in studio a few weeks ago, and there's still clips coming out from that because Glenn talks a lot, and the algorithm loves Glenn for some reason. So,
there's no dead air with Glenn.
There's no dead air with Glenn Spector. That's his next tagline, apparently.
Right there. Boom, done.
Hey, book Glenn Spector for your podcast. No dead air. No dead air. Glenn Spector is definitely the new moniker.
Really good.
That's actually a really good. Yes,
it's a really good nickname.
That's
for Glenn
on your
Spector.
wrestling show. That's on your podcast. That's in line at the DMV. Whatever the hell you're going to run into this guy.
That's at your funeral.
At your funeral, I'm sure. Jeez. A lot of fun there. That'll be part of IndyWrestling.us network, and for members over on the YouTube page as well for Prospect Pro Wrestling presented by Lebanon Dawn Enterprises. Fahrenheit going on up there, and of course you can join us in person. Ticket info at prospectprowrestling.com. Victor Benjamin, you came from Paris, if I'm not mistaken.
Oui, monsieur.
You're freshened up on there. I had it in like 9th grade French, so
I know about 5 words.
Fromage. Yeah, fatigué. Yes.
Du fromage.
Yes, exactly. Wait a minute.
Baguette.
You were there. Were you in Paris?
I was
during the Olympics.
No.
No.
I was in Paris last year, actually.
Okay.
And we just got announced Lady Frost and I are going back in October.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So I can't recall if I've had you on since, like, I know you guys have been going to Alaska, obviously Paris. Like, you've been very Australia. Holy
Italy.
Crap. Italy.
We're getting around.
You guys are getting Mexico now. Yes.
Canada. She was just back up there with Greektown.
Jeez. You're very international now. So What are you finding? And I guess I'm kind of Alaska in that, but somehow,
Same thing.
Well, I guess like kind of the simple question is, what are you finding amongst like kind of working in front of fans of a different nationality? Like, what are the obviously like we see. We've seen the UK crowds and how crazy they are. We've been seeing when WWE goes to some of these countries, Japan's vibe when we watch our Wrestle Kingdoms and stuff, right? Like, what are you kind of witnessing from your angle?
The fans in different countries, or the crowds, the fans, the audience, all of it, in different countries, I don't want to say they're starved, but they are so much more appreciative there for even mediocre talent, but let alone true stars, right? Here, there's wrestling every weekend, every single day.
You trip over it in this town, yeah.
Right, and it happens, right? Like, it's like, oh, I saw that. But you, not saying this, but a drop kick, for instance, they're popping. Here, it's like, oh, you got to hit them with 17 Canadian destroyers. But the fans treat you so well. They buy merchandise left and right. They want to take you out, put you up. They want to do everything for you. Like, literally, when I was in France the first time, I felt like a rock star. It was the first time like I really felt that from the fans. Like, and like we have great fans, especially here in Pittsburgh. Especially when our friends and our family are here. Like when we ran the Wrestle Pit shows. But never have I felt that kind of energy.
It's interesting. One of the early interviews we did was with the man who'd become Corey Graves, and I think he talked about a tour to, if I'm not mistaken, like an island off of Italy.
Okay.
And again, like at the time, internationally, I don't think he was very known as Sterling James Keenan. And this is like, again, mid-2000s maybe, and he said he just got absolutely mobbed whenever he showed up for something in Italy for wrestling.
Right. I'm very thankful that I'm not living in that era of the VHS sending.
Yes.
Right? I have social media, so I was very blessed in order to, and I like to follow everyone. Like if you look at my Twitter numbers, it's about a 50% follow to my followers ratio. But that has actually allowed me a larger audience overall, and not just locally, across the world. So when I did go over there, a lot of people knew who I was. Most people did not, and I'm not saying, like anything like that, but for my first tour overseas in a different country, I main evented. That's almost unheard of. And it was a title match. Got over there. I took the Butterfinger Championship, and I was eating crepes with Nutella afterwards. I posted it and parlayed that into a sponsorship with Nutella. It's insane.
Wait! I didn't know about this. You got a Nutella? Is that? Wait a minute. Isn't that? Hold on.
It is not a conflict of interest.
Oh, no, thank you. That's what I was trying to get
It is
out.
not,
Okay,
because Butterfinger and Nutella are owned by the same parent company.
Okay.
So I'm allowed, and it's a spread.
Did they give you a championship?
No, but they gave me a custom two custom jars of Nutella that don't say Nutella on it. They say Savage.
In like the font?
In the font.
Wow.
Written on the jars of Nutella, Savage. So you can go find that on Instagram.
You need to make that like a shirt.
And they gave me, speaking of shirts, they gave me a custom Nutella track jacket to celebrate their 60th anniversary.
Like New Japan style track jacket?
So badass. The zipper is a jar of Nutella. The elbow patches are jars of like
France, right?
That was in
France.
France.
Is this your France ring gear when you come back?
Hey, now that you say it, possibly.
That's amazing.
But yeah, like the fans, everything, like it's so different. And then we had the opportunity to go to Australia. We did seminars there. I did a seminar in France as well. Seminars in Australia. JXT was nice enough to invite us down to his studio. Beautiful training facility. I'm so jealous. For a wrestling school, those kids don't know how good they have it. But then we went to Italy. Mike Quackenbush invited us out. We did seminars there also, both Lady Frost and I. And again, the training facility there in Italy was top notch. And it just so happened to coincide with the time I was building my gym. So I was like, "Ooh, I like that toy right there."
you're just like, I'm taking notes. Okay,
Yes,
there we
exactly. I was
go.
sending
Yeah.
pictures
Take a
to
little
people back
picture to
home.
Yeah,
Click,
so we're
click.
like one of these, two of these.
Yep.
Yes, it was a nice wish list opportunity. It sounds like.
Yeah, but everyone, the fans were insane. I had opportunity that I didn't get to take the following night at BZW, one of the biggest European companies right now. I hyperextended my knee at the end of the match in France. So the next morning I woke up, it was all blown up. I couldn't bend it at all. But I was supposed to debut there as well. And they're a Belgium-based company. But I was so upset. But we are working on taking care of that in the future. We've already been in talks and communication. But Wrestling Pro Own, they were upset because they wanted the Savage Gentleman and Lady Frost last year. And due to contractual obligations with Lady Frost, she wasn't able to make it. And they said, we're going to make this right. And now, in a few months, I'm going to kiss my wife at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Bam.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome.
So cool. That's how I'm celebrating.
I love that. I love that. That's very cool. So, obviously, you get a lot of traveling. I see you're out and about and you're in style. So we got to talk about, because there's a little bit of a trend going on here that I'm noticing, and I've been calling out for a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm just curious. You got some hat game going on here.
Oh,
Okay.
boy, do I.
Okay, you got this hat. Explain, what is this hat? What is the style?
First off, let's talk about the background. That is Cafe Du Monde, the home of beignets. Have you ever had a beignet?
I don't think so.
Down in New Orleans. I was down there this past weekend for Wildcat Sports.
Never been to New Orleans. It's on the list. It's on the bucket.
Okay. So I can only
There's not
like
a lot
it.
of Baja down in New Orleans for me, unfortunately.
It is one of those must-see, must-stop destinations. Cash only. You got it. You go in. There's only one thing to order: coffee and beignets. You get 3 of them. It's basically a giant donut, or what it tastes like, a funnel cake, because it's loaded with powdered sugar. Absolutely terrible for your physique, but amazing for your soul.
A good cheat day.
Absolutely.
Good cheat meal. Okay.
But the hat, well, one, I'm bald, so I didn't want my head to fry out in the New Orleans sun.
Okay. So partly protective. I got you.
Yes, there is reason. And this right here, bam. This was the debut. Wildcat Sports. I whooped his ass, secured the bag, and then went ate beignets.
Look at that beignet body right there.
Body by beignet.
Body by beignet.
If that's not a damn slogan.
So, I'm seeing this pop up in my feed, but there's somebody else with Hat Game, and I want to call out right now. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't know.
I don't know if you've seen this, but
yes,
our old friend Joaquin Wild
that's
has been
my
upping,
guy right
upping
there.
the hat game as well. Now, what is the difference between your hat and his hat? I'm sure there's a difference.
I know who made his hat, and I know
Okay.
how expensive that damn hat is.
That's that WWE check right there.
Yes, that's the WWE money.
Okay.
Mine is not quite on that level. Him and I have had numerous hat conversations, though.
I started a hat conversation with him a few weeks ago.
I love how wrestlers have hat conversations.
Listen, when you're well dressed and you're a dapper gentleman like ourselves, what do you expect?
Very true.
And I got to tell you, like, dude sticks out because of it, right? He's rocking main event, but like you see him in the background of like LWO promos. He's just like, LWO dude number 3, unfortunately at the moment. But like
that's another Pittsburgh guy.
Who's that?
That's Luca Crucifino. I helped train him for his WWE tryout.
Hell yeah.
Pittsburgh all over the map.
Nice. But like, and obviously he's been doing like great viral moments and things. Like, it was amazing to see him have a moment.
That flying squirrel.
This dude has had his WrestleMania moment already.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
I'm up
and
in
it is so well freaking deserved.
Oh my God. Yes. Good. That guy,
well overdue. Also,
one of those dudes again. Kind of same template all over the world, been doing this for years, all over the place, and getting his spot.
I owe so much to that guy. He is the reason I left Pittsburgh first. He set me up with my New Japan tryout. He set me up with my Evolve tryout. He was already one of the top stars, and he was just as humble as a day one wrestler and willing to help another guy from Pittsburgh, and I cannot thank Walking Wild, DJZ, Shima, for all of that help over the years. And now, we still talking. Now we're talking about fashion.
I love it.
And I know the story behind his hats also.
Yes.
And it was just a one-off thing, and someone complimented him on it, and he was like, "This is my thing now. This is my thing. It's got to be my thing."
Yeah, I love it. And again, who else is doing that, right?
Yeah.
It adds some style. It's having him stick out. He's doing amazing in the ring, but you always need that little bit extra, to kind of stick out there.
Custom hats are not cheap.
What's that?
Custom hats are not cheap.
No, and I think he said he had 8 of them.
Yes, yes. He's building quite the collection. I have
one
more
for every
hats.
town.
I have more hats, but I do not have that many custom hats. No, those are expensive.
I love it. Maybe one day down the line, if the stars should align, could we have a hat team up here
We will have a hat off.
I was going to say a hat off, if you will.
Hat off.
There you go.
And I know he can dance with him and his DJ days. We might just have to get crazy like they did it back on You Got Served.
I love it. I love it. Always great to see you guys. Always rocking, having fun out there. Again, so I know you're popping up a few places. What's the big travel next? What country are you tackling next, sir?
The United States.
Okay.
I will be in Pittsburgh in 2 weeks for IWC.
Cooling off the passport for a little bit. It's getting too hot out there.
Just for a little bit. For a little bit. But then in September, I have just received payment, so I will be going to Mexico in September.
Nice.
And then in October, back to Paris. Yes. So we're doing some things, Sorg. We're doing some things. I'm trying to stay busy, trying to grow my brand internationally.
And checking out international gyms so you can up that wish list, right?
I would never steal anything from anyone.
It's research. Listen, when
It's
you go
not stealing, it's borrowing.
It's
Correct.
research and development. Research and development.
How can I know what my people want if I don't do due diligence?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. Is why I visit other podcast studios. Is why, whenever we're traveling, we visit a volume. Not that I could afford that. But, it's actually the one that they shot all the WWE Goes Hollywood stuff on down there in Tampa.
Nice.
We got to visit a couple years ago. So,
yes.
but it's just like, that's nice. All right. We're going to wait till the Apple level version comes out. So, but anyways, really cool stuff. We do have a question from the chat room. Manager Tina, you see, I'm going to make up for that, Tina.
Boom.
Manager Tina in the chat room, has Victor had the opportunity to rock a hat for the Kentucky Derby?
I have not. I was actually invited to the Kentucky Derby a few years ago, but I wasn't able to attend, unfortunately. But now that you mention it, that is on the list.
Awesome. Well,
do you know anyone, Manager Tina? Because we need to make it happen.
She's from that neck of the woods originally, so you never know.
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
I always learn.
You don't know until you ask. It's always a no.
Yeah.
Unless you ask.
Absolutely. I love it. Victor Benjamin, Savage Gentleman. Go check him out on the social medias. The Savage Gentleman, I believe, in most places.
Real
Savage Gent. In most places. So
yes, sir.
There you go. We are going to be right back. A few messages with you if you're with us on the video, and we're going to talk about copyrights. It's more exciting than it sounds. Trust me on this one, ladies. We'll be right back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Amata here for RWA Sports Media, and at this time I'm being joined by the returning AJ Alexander. AJ, thank you for sitting down with me.
First it's your pleasure.
After a successful return here to the RWA, I'm going to ask you point blank. You've spent about the past 6 months training in Japan with the legendary Yoshihiro Tajiri. I'm going to ask you, straight to the point. Who is AJ Alexander here today in 2024 as compared to the AJ Alexander that started in this sport about 5-6 years ago?
Before Japan, I was an arrogant kid. I was horrible. I had a bad attitude. Now, since returning from Japan, I feel like I got my head on straight. I have my goals set. My vision is very clear. I got that 2020 vision, Jim. You know what that's like?
Well, the future is certainly looking bright for you. You've talked about where you've been. Well, let's talk about where you're going. As we said, a successful return here to the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. What does the future hold for AJ Alexander here in the RWA?
As I said in front of the great fans of RWA, man, they were the only ones who ever believed in me. They were the only ones who pushed me towards my dream of Japan. And the people who didn't, it fills up 90% of the RWA locker room. So my only goal is to stomp out every single person who didn't believe in me. And if you didn't know me, sorry, because you're getting stomped out too.
There you hear it, words from AJ Alexander. Successful return here to the RWA, and certainly a young man looking to make his mark here in the Renegade Wrestling Alliance throughout the rest of 2024. Stick here, RWA Sports Media, as this story develops.
Look out! And did you hear the thud? Suplex on the ramp. This is just amazing and absurd all at the same time. Corey, oh my God! Corey is tearing at the flesh with an aluminum can. And the Beastman has been lacerated. He got cut and he is bleeding badly. This is going too far.
You can't just sit idly by and let this happen, Jimmy. On earth is happening, LaMotta.
Oh! What the hell was that? Look out! Oh my God! Right to him across the back!
Strike one, strike two. Hits it out.
No, he's putting it in his mouth!
LaMotta.
This is one of the most grotesque things I've ever seen. Oh, look out, interception! Violent driver through the door! It was a violent spectacle!
We are back, Wrestling Mayhem Show. The Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin, a punch
Good
king,
day
a
and
punch
good
cone,
pizza.
punch king to your heart. There you go.
The one and only.
What's that?
The one and only.
The one and only. Enjoying some of our sponsor pizza there. Our friends from Slice on Broadway. Good guys
See
there.
this? Look at this.
Supporting the crew. Loving that.
We zoom in on this? It's
I don't
delicious.
know. I can't reach this.
They can't zoom.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
all right.
can't zoom
we don't
out.
have a
Look.
pizza Z.
Manual zoom.
There you go. There you go.
There we
Manual
go.
zoom. There you go.
There
Just
we go.
shove it right into the lens. Why is that smudgy when we're shooting wrestling in 2 days? I don't know. So
We're not gonna remember.
We're not gonna
You're not
remember. But like,
why.
why is there just like, hey, this is a really cool, like crazy, like
Lens
trippy
flare.
glaze that's happening right now on this lens, right? You know, so
No, it wouldn't.
I will
It's not going to be
charge
any
you for that. That's
cool.
free of charge.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Thank
That's
you for
my
the
artistic ability and donation to the Sorgatron
Yeah.
media.
It's not going to be a cool drippy glaze. It's going to be a what the fuck is this? This fucking blood. What the fuck is happening?
Did Jack Pollock spear beer on my lens again? Anyways,
I hate when that happens.
I know, right? I know, right? Like, there's always like I think we had this last week, Riz, right? Because I remember like he's doing the beer spot, and I kept saying, "Don't stand in front of him. Don't stand." And like he'll shoot off the beer, like coming right out the entrance, and then kind of look over to the camera guy, because they know I'm fucking
They
watching.
know it's happening. Yeah.
They're just like,
He knows it's happening.
you're like, you're good, buddy. I didn't get you this time. You know, like we got a whole thing going on. Yes. So and then his director actually comes out with a water ball and just goes straight into the camera the next match. You know, it happens. I get it.
Yep.
It's in the moment. You know, it's just keep munching over there.
The people who
Super
use
soaked.
the people who use cameramen as like their watering can, or like dripping, like throwing beer on them or throwing water on them, they happen to be one of the nicest people.
They usually are. They're apologizing. Where was I? Where I was filming Gory, and I forgot what Gory does, and stood directly underneath him when he did the spray gimmick, and I was like, well, fuck. Yep, that's
Well,
me.
That one's on you, sir.
That's me. And it was
Yeah, that's
it
your
was
fault.
literally on me, and I just
Literally.
had specks on me for the rest of the night. I was like, well, yep, that was me. I should have known better, you know. So I hadn't done this for a while, but you know. Anyways, there's some really interesting things going out in the trademark world, I guess we could say, that I want to touch base on here. Really curious that there was. Hold on, let me pull up the information on this, or unless Riz, you have everything. I don't know if you're more familiar than I am on this.
Sean Morley's a piece of shit. Let's just point that out there. We
Okay.
just put that out there.
Okay, Sean Morley, the former Val Venus, apparently, I cannot recall what he said, but people are not happy with his views. Let's just say this.
Yeah,
in the wrestling world in general.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to go into there. It involves, you know.
It seems to be the popular consensus that
yeah.
no one was on board with.
Kind of like the
what he
Disco
said.
Inferno kind of situation. I'm guessing.
Worse.
Okay.
Like it's not wrestling related.
Okay. Yes.
So yeah. But yeah, he's a jerkbag. He's a jagoff in Pittsburgh terms.
Yes, thank you for that.
Can you spell that for us?
JAGOFF.
That's
for
very
all you
good,
at home.
considering I saw you jagoff.com was watching us on Instagram earlier. So
That's fantastic.
Yep, that was
our
great
friends
timing.
over there. So according to this, wait a minute, how does this work here? Okay, according
How
to
does the internet work?
How does the internet work? According to this one thing that pops,
We're about to find out. aren't we?
someone has purchased a trademark for Val Venus and is using it for LBGTQ plus support. Apologies. VAL stands for Valued Allies of LBGTQ plus.
Now that's savage.
Venus stands for Vital Educational and Non-Judgmental Informational Services.
Yes.
And that is your logo right there. So, yeah.
Hello, ladies.
And did I see? Is it? It's not ValVenus.com that they got. It's
like Valvenus.
Universe.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and what you pull up is this site, and it's got useful information to support the LGBTQ plus community, including the Trevor Project and things like that. So, and again, that explanation at the bottom. So there you go. So, and this is, I'm sure this is nothing. I'm sure this was a WWE trademark that was let go ages ago. I don't know the support, the background on this. And I heard speculations on who might have been behind helping out with this trademark situation. But
might it be somebody like named Phil at one point?
What?
Bill?
Phil? Not Phil. Not Phil. Not CM Phil.
What are you talking about?
Punk.
Nope, you are in the complete wrong ballpark, my friend.
Somebody a little more local to the show.
Okay, good.
is my thing. So is my was what I was told on a side chat, but I have not confirmed. So I'm we try to perform what resembles respectful journalism on this show, and not just that's why we don't read certain news items on this show.
That's true.
So, but that is fantastic. So kudos.
I mean, just be a good person, and shit like this won't happen to you. That's it.
Right.
Like, just be a good person to people. They might have different views than you. Who gives a shit? You're famous for getting for having somebody cut off your dick.
Choppy pee pee.
Yes. Only to have it be a skit to get the guy who got his actual dick cut off, whatever his name is, Bobbitt. I forget what his whole, but yeah, to come on and have a show on Monday Night Raw.
Just in case you're curious, I'm looking up the trademarks here. We should have had my wife on the show so she could do the due diligence on this. I'm just stumbling through it. So according to the status is that it is an abandoned, incomplete response for the Val Venus trademark, according to Justia.com, which I think is just a database that pulls from the trademark database. In case you're curious, now there is an international classification for this of education provided of training, entertainment, sporting, and cultural activities. So goods and services on the American side is entertainment services, namely wrestling exhibitions and performances by professional wrestler and entertainer.
I just like how goods and services in there, and all I can think of is Val Venus in the 1990s going goods and services, like how he normally does that.
Everything should be read in this voice, right?
Yeah.
So like including the new meaning of Val Venus. I will not do that though. Somebody else can be that one. Looking to see almost like a classic Vince Russo acronym, says somebody on Reddit. For instance, my men hang 'em high. Seeing if there's any more. There's a WWE fan. This is a report from July 29th of a WWE fan that attempts to secure the trademark for the abandoned Val Venus name, according to the definitely reputable ringsidenews.com. So,
isn't somebody still like part of that? Is it Matt still a thing?
Of what? Ringside News?
Yeah. Is he sometimes on there?
I do not know who we were speaking of. So,
yeah,
I don't trust any wrestling news site, to be quite honest. So I will bash every one of them, including ones that I read, because there's a lot of, hey, this ain't fucking news. What is that? Anyways, seeing if there's more info on who this came from. Oh, at Hang 'em High is actually the one.
The one who bought.
Are they the one that bought it?
Oh.
Log back in. Who knows how to buy a trademark from Hang 'em High? Oh my god. So this is the other side of. Obviously, we had the issue where, if you're a wrestler, you should have your stuff trademarked. The Reaper Matt Connor, the Savage Gentleman is trademarked, I imagine, right? So like
the Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin,
the full thing.
The Savage Gentleman was actually owned by a gentleman's club down south, so I could not just secure that one. However,
but you still have the extra on. Plus, you're kind of a different vector of entertainment,
correct?
Right. So,
but they were still both under the entertainment category,
so that could get sticky. No pun intended on that.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, you need to secure your stuff, especially if it's something that you think you're going to take to a higher level. I mean,
my wife just filed for murder gymnastics.
That is. Was it fans? Was it Twitter that came up with that, or was that like a Nigel McGuinnessism? I cannot remember.
That was me.
That was you.
That was me. But the fans, what happened was it got tweaked down in Mexico when she was down for CMLL, and the commentary misspoke and called her the gymnast assassin. That's where that was created.
Okay.
But
Is that also being applied?
That no, because you have Will Ospreay, who's the aerial assassin, so which very very similar.
Yeah. I could get.
That's market space infringement still.
Yeah.
But Murder Gymnastics, she is the queen of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. And also the most picturesque. They seem to get her in the most interesting like aerial positions.
Always.
Like it's fucking magic the way that happens.
Picturesque in the air. We call it elegant destruction.
Nice. I like it. So indie wrestlers, think about it. You know, if you're starting off, you know, how much is a trademark to begin
like $500
with?
bucks.
Like $500 or something. And this goes to, and that seems a little stiff for a newer professional wrestler.
Sure.
Like, of course.
Especially if we're going to change your gimmick. A year or two in.
I think like if, and you never know for that first gimmick, right? Like
Shane in your face is still available.
There you go. I saw a Shane in your face T-shirt in Bradley's closet, by the way.
That is fantastic.
And also a Pretty Proper shirt.
Ooh, throwing it back.
Yep. So I want to go in, and I don't think I'll ever have the time to do this, but I want to go in and tag all the names in the video, so people can like, hey, here's all the Chest Flexor shirts. Here's all the Shane shirts. There's the RJ City shirt. Like have some fun with that. But anyways, also might help SEO. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Where was I going with that? Yeah, but Shane in your face. Like how? Well, that's a perfect example. How long did you run with that name?
Over a decade, because it was my fight name.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you had that, and I don't think is anybody on the MMA circuit thinking about this?
No, I don't think honestly.
It's just the moniker at that point, right? It's just
I'm sure there's someone like Conor McGregor.
Sure.
The notorious one, and
I'm sure when they're like thinking about a UFC, they're starting to think about.
Right, and they have a huge marketing team. It's no different than WWE, what they're doing.
It's
they're literally
the same thing now.
Literally the same thing now. Yes. So, yeah, they're all those custom nicknames. I can almost guarantee that at least the megastars are purchased.
Absolutely. So you're coming out of that thing where it hadn't been a thought of, and then wrestling. How long were you wrestling under that name?
2 years, a year and a half, not very long actually.
But that's when you started saying, okay, I need to tweak this a little bit into something different. So I don't think like you come out, have your first match, and you're getting a trademark. Like
Correct.
I don't think
no,
that's
not
the
at
thing. And I would love to hear. And maybe we talked about this when we had the talk with David Lawless on this topic. But like I'd say if you're like hitting a year, if not 2 years, and you're like, okay, this is it, you know. And you're getting some traction under the name, like that needs to be secured at that point, right? Like if you're still kind of like unsure, but like there has to be like, I guess you need to think like if somebody popped up with my thing on WWE TV tomorrow, is that the end of the world for me and my character, and my brand, and all the T-shirts I just purchased?
One of our tag team moves, one of the Pretty Proper tag team moves, is now a tag team finisher for a women's tag team. Like no one has taken our true finisher. No. But like legitimately, like that's what happens.
But you have to be ready for that.
And I know they saw it because we know they acknowledged it. And then it happened to be on TV the next week.
And and I think, we know WWE watches everything. It's been admitted at some point, like I think even by Triple H, like they are keeping an eye on everything, including the indies. Well, actually, no. I know that stuff that we film have been seen by big companies, it's I hear about comedians stealing jokes and things. It's kind of that,
Sure.
but also like everybody's influenced by what they're seeing. The new stuff's coming from the indies. WWE's watching everybody slower on them to see what's hitting hot, so they can take things to the next level. We've talked about certain things AEW does well that WWE has taken in the last several years and done very, very well with them, because they just are real fucking good at this. Think ECW in the Attitude Era, for instance, right? Like, they could have not done that, and ECW could have kept rising in that brand. But they didn't. They took that, and then they gave them sort of a bone, sure. But that's the name of the game. Nobody kind of owns this unless you own it at that point.
Legit.
Can you even copyright moves, names, but not the moves themselves? Not the you can't copyright a curb stomp or a choke slam or something.
You can copyright the name to the move.
Yes.
But you cannot copyright the move itself.
And in most cases, everything's, don't want to say there's a standard to it, but
Right. It's more of a respect aspect, right?
Yes.
But also, it's whoever makes it to TV first.
Yep.
That's the rule.
Yep.
That's the unwritten rule.
Yep. And even in this age, still so many of those unwritten rules that still exist in pro wrestling, which that's kind of the interesting magic of it,
Yeah.
I feel like everything else is locked the fuck down.
Yes.
So it's really interesting. Well, anyways, what's also glad to have our friends. I don't know. Maybe they've copyrighted the recipe. I don't know if you can even do that, actually. Our friends at Slice on Broadway, New York City style Yinza made. It's Yinza, not the luchador. The Pittsburgh luchador isn't down there
Yinza
making
probably
pizzas.
made it one
Although
day.
that probably needs to fucking happen, okay? So, but anyways, I realize I'm swearing more on the show because Bradley told me I haven't been in the last few weeks, and subconsciously I'm just letting it out more. So sorry, Bradley,
Is
and
it
your
because
workplace.
you're in the presence of a savage?
Motherfucker, savage
But
gentleman.
also a gentleman.
Wow.
Yes.
So there's it combined.
I just wanted to say one
Hi,
time.
hi, LinkedIn. So sometimes this is the only show where I can say the F word, and sometimes I do it liberally. But check out our friends up the street, the original, the OG here in Beachview, Slice on Broadway, and also right down the street from Punch Kings in Wexford.
Boom.
There you go. There you go. And no matter what you're checking out, check out our friends in Slice on Broadway. Or even if you're down at Taco Mania in the South Side here in September, you can also head over to the standalone Slice on Broadway there. Thank you for supporting the show. For well over a decade, Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. It is time to find out what we learned from wrestling this week to close out the show. Chat room, please hit me up. I'll do the round on the chats and see how everybody's doing out there. But let's get into what we learned. Riz, do you have a what we learned for this week? You learned that you're growing back your goatee. I know there's that.
I'm going to go back and goatee like a chia pet.
Okay. Water that
you know
chin.
one of those
Water
you
that
know,
chin.
One of those back in the day where you can press the head on like one of those Play-Doh
Mr. Potato Head?
balls or potato head. Yeah, you can just pop one on there. But like when you press down on like a Play-Doh doll, and then like all the hair comes out, the Play-Doh comes out as like facial hair or top of the hair. That's how this works.
Are you trying to say and tell us that you eat Play-Doh because if you push down on your mouth, it'll come out of your chin? Is that what are you getting at here?
I'm not denying anything.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
leaving it up to the imagination.
Sure.
But ooh, what did I learn?
What
I
do you
learned
have
that
for us?
I learned that even like working wrestling shows, I can be very, very shocked about stuff without knowing anything happening.
Oh, it's also nobody ever tells us anything at these shows. Too,
Nobody
so,
tells us
yeah,
anything
yeah.
at all.
Especially things that could be really important
Like-
to get that on camera.
Like when somebody
I do.
throws a
Yeah,
chair.
he does. Yeah,
I do.
absolutely, yeah.
Like,
I
hey,
want
you
my
do.
stuff captured. I want content.
do.
That's right. I
That's
did,
all.
I did
content
whole
creator
shows with
era.
you, and we went around. You know what I love? Production meetings. It's
Yes.
are pretty
That would
great.
be amazing.
Pretty great. You get one at RWA at least, right?
I don't
Moving
know.
on,
I've never
Sorg.
been there.
Okay. You were.
There's times we don't.
Oh, they've had some weird. Yeah, I know. There's been some
Yeah.
weird scheduling issues, and sometimes that doesn't happen. But there's been an effort.
There's-
some
there has
communication
been an
going on there.
attempt.
Anyways, you were saying.
Okay, but like going back to Friday with like the entire at 880s
MV Young's Backyard
yes
Barbecue 3. It's
3.
free over IndyWrestling.network.
yes having just first of all seeing fucking Remy get his flowers, perfect, love it.
Mhm.
Doing that against Reese is another story, but
Poor Reese.
being shocked by like different stories in one little conglomerate of an indie fed like that is, and how big of a reaction that got, like that's pretty damn cool.
Nick's
like-
Wild got the Hulk Hogan NWO turn.
They
Stick it,
got
brother.
they got the turn. They got the turn.
This is shit thrown at them.
That was a good. That was a
moment.
good shot too. I gotta say
That was a
of
good
them
shot, Riz.
getting-
That was
yeah,
a great shot, Riz.
It might have been no. I mean, like, I think that was like all the way in the back of
I'm
the
going to
AAE.
tell you, I got the reactions on the monitor upstairs were even more classic to it. So like it was some good stuff. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
Dastardly Nick's Wild. So
What a riot.
well, it was not a riot, thankfully. No,
I know.
that's West Newton. No, that's
Well, they are the NB riot. but go
Oh
ahead.
yes. Okay.
It was a play on their words, Sorg.
Oh, got you. So, I'll be curious to see where they're kind of running from there. Victor Benjamin, what did you learn from wrestling this week?
That
or
Lee
recent?
Moriarty
Oh my God, yes.
is the best pure wrestler in the world. We've known this for years,
Yeah.
and now it's finally time for him to show everyone else.
The world knows.
The world
Pure
knows.
Champion, fantastic match with Wheeler Yuta.
Oh.
That finish.
Yes.
That finish. If for those that maybe didn't see it, spoiler alert if you didn't watch Ring of Honor yet, is Death Before Dishonor from this Friday night. And I think they had run through. You've done a pure wrestling match.
I have. I've wrestled Josh Woods for the pure title.
That's right. The very same. And the great video producer on that too. But
The best.
call me AEW. Anyways, so call me back AEW. Yeah. But he ran through the rope breaks. Both of them did, which is a rarity actually. They were saying, and he used the ropes as leverage because he's allowed to at that point. No,
You gotta know the rules.
Yeah.
And how to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
It was fantastic, and I'm hoping that means we're going to see Lee put on a even better pedestal with that.
And you know what's gonna what happens if, like, let's say this goes out and Savage Gentleman part comes out and it's posted online and he sees it. He's gonna say no, he's not. He's gonna be so generous about what he is.
Humble.
Humble. That's the word.
Yeah, I've yelled at him numerous times. Every time I see him, I'm like, stop
Everybody has.
it. Stop it. And I go,
And he still does it.
He's really gotten that lion face down though.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember working on it in the basement here. You know, yeah. So I'm glad. I hope he had a small part in that. So. No, that's awesome that he's doing that. And again, another guy, we're talking about hats with Walking Wild and what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Sticks out, right? He could easily have been other good wrestle guy that's in the mix.
Sure.
But, everything, and these are conscious choices on his side, because, he's got the mask thing. He wore the MF Doom one this week, right?
Yeah.
Which was right before the Doom announcement, by the way. If you, with
Is he clairvoyant? Did
he
foresee
knew.
that?
He
Did
knew.
know? Did he know?
You may have known.
Did he have the Iggy?
He might have. He's got a line in the Robert Downey Jr. Listen, it's
RDJ.
a different
RDJ.
RDJ. I couldn't remember the letters, so.
It's literally his initials.
I know, but I just can't do the math, and I'm doing a show.
Okay,
I just
okay.
can't. There's a lot of cycles being worked here. Where I was going with that, but yeah, with the yellow jacket and everything, it's just so like, I'm like, he confused me when I first saw him back in the day, with the look and everything, and now it all makes sense as it's developed. Now our guy's developed.
Guess what? He kept workshopping it, and now
Absolutely.
he put it all together.
Put the work in, edited his own videos, still does,
Still
by the way.
does, still
Still
does.
makes his own shit
And
on
his
social
graphics.
media. Yes.
Yes.
Real fuck. He's so he's too good at everything. But he applied himself. He's wrapped his head around it. Every time somebody bitches about, I don't know if I should be on Twitter, and I can't figure out Twitter. Fucking figure it out, guys.
I hate that. You know how I got popular? You know how I got booked in Paris? Do you know the story behind Paris?
No, I don't.
Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter is the story. So my wife, she wrestles for AEW. I don't know. Full disclosure, if anyone doesn't know that, spoiler. I dropped her off at the airport. Yes, I am her personal valet on most days.
As you should be for your
Correct.
significant other.
After all, I am a gentleman.
That's right.
So I dropped her off, but I had a hankering for some donuts because it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, what else am I gonna do? Cheap plug. Sheetz was there. They're also a sponsor of mine. So I stop in. I procure myself some peanut butter donuts. I proceed to tweet about said peanut butter donuts. A confectionist in Paris sees the damn tweet.
About Sheets Donuts.
Sheets Donuts in Paris, and they go, you know what? We should book you on this show. And that's how I got booked in Paris, because I ate donuts and tweeted about it. That is
I wish
not a
that
lie.
works.
That's a shoot.
I wish that works for us. Like good.
First of all, you have to have undeniable skill that somebody in Paris
Yeah,
would like
that's
to bring
true.
you to
That's very
Paris
true.
for. You know, like that's like, you know, I'm fortunate that I have video skills
Like-
that somebody wants to send me across the country to use. Right? You
Yes.
know, like you gotta. The other part of this is.
There is two sides
Like,
to
there's
that
two
coin.
sides
There
of
is
it.
two
Like,
sides
get
to
your
it, I
shit
know.
out there, but make sure you have good shit to get out there.
Yes.
You know, be a good wrestler. Become a good wrestler. Become a good character. Become a value to somebody else's
First
company.
and foremost, be a good human.
Yes.
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 100%.
That is what got me booked back this year.
Mhm.
It
You
wasn't because
showed
I was
up and you
I-
weren't shitty.
I mean, I did my job and I
Mhm.
balled out as expected.
Yeah.
However, they said I was quote unquote family now.
Oh,
Be a good person. It goes so much
Yeah.
further than anything else
Absolutely.
in this world.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. I mean, I don't know how many times I hear about, like, yeah, that guy had a great match, but he was kind of hard to deal with, you know?
A dick.
You know, like, yeah, I've
We're
heard
allowed
that.
to swear.
I've heard several versions of that word with certain people. So
Wiener.
Okay.
PP.
La
Tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker. I hope nobody from France is watching this one. But anyways,
Hey Flo, how you doing,
this
bud?
is how I'm never going to get to Europe now. But yeah, anyways.
you say that now.
I say that now.
Listen,
Again,
you're getting booked because of this now.
Oh yeah. If you guys need a video producer because you
I was
don't
like, he's
have
gonna put
French
a word for
ones,
you now, and you're going to France.
yeah, now I'm going to have to figure out the different plugs for power. But no, yeah, hey, you never freaking know. The reason I get to travel is because I got a job because of this show. This show
Okay.
is why I have a corporate job.
Ah.
You know, it's weird how that stuff can come together.
You just never know.
You literally never know who's in the audience, whether it's at a conference that you're talking at or on social media. You don't know what eyeballs are catching you.
Or ears.
I was surprised when I ran into Kevin Gill. I worked with him at
Yep,
WrestleMania weekend
KG.
last year. Ran into him just out and about
Whoop,
this
whoop.
year. Fucking yeah. But you know, he's just like, oh yeah, I saw you guys talking about such and such the other week. I'm like, oh, you see my clips, you know, like that's, you know, that's big, you know.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
I still do this show as if nobody's watching,
Sure.
you know, and in you know, not a vacuum, you know. I see you guys out there in the chat room, but to me, like the couple people in the chat room are the only people, and then that's it. Maybe that I haven't done what I learned yet, have I? So-
No, you haven't.
well, what have we learned in the chat room? The people that are watching, Tati steps away for injury and the wildflowers explode. Also, Tatiana, I will give a lot of props because she's been stepping in on commentary, and you know, I think Victor, you're a case of this, like about kind of diversifying your career, you know,
Is
because
she
you never
in the group
know.
chat right now?
Tatiana,
Yes.
she's not in the chat right now.
Oh, because she was also at Punch King.
Oh, excellent.
Mhm.
I saw a couple people look familiar in some of those videos, so I wondered about that. So again, somebody's, you know, she's out with an injury, gets on the commentary. She did before when she just wasn't booked on shows. I think she's been doing great. She's got her theater background and everything. Great presenter, you know, obviously new, but
Corey
you know,
Graves,
yeah,
right? I mean, let's be honest.
yeah.
You never know until you're presented an opportunity to step into that role.
Yeah, and not to
Do
say
you think he wanted to do that? Absolutely not. You know
No.
him.
But
He would never want
guess
to.
who's had to guess who's had to commentate the last several WrestleManias now, where he would have been
poor
lucky.
him.
He would have been lucky if he got one moment by now on that
Exactly. Yep.
roster, right? On that
100%.
stacked roster that has been in the last couple of years.
Oh.
You know, all respect to Corey. You know,
No,
but
100%.
it would have been a big hill to climb for any athlete.
Anyone.
Yeah. So, and he's now the voice of WWE.
Insane.
You know, it's or a second voice at least. It's fun to hear him on my video games.
I
You
love
know,
it.
it's just wild.
Pittsburgh represent.
Dave Jay Ponder learned that Thea Hale is a quick learner putting on a banger with Roxanne tonight.
Also Pittsburgh.
I saw there's an article in the Trib about her being on there. And
About Thea?
About Thea. And
There was just
she's
one
from
about
Plum.
Luca Crucifino.
Was there?
Mm-hmm.
So no, again, we know we're Pittsburgh strong in pro wrestling here, and that's
Damn right we
that's
are.
incredible, freaking
So
incredible
good.
right now. And see if I missed any else. I'm going to refresh this chat room because I feel like there should be one from Tina that I'm probably not seeing, but no. What did I learn from wrestling this week? I learned when somebody doesn't show up for a 3-on-3, it turns into 3 matches.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. That's on a production side, but but no, yeah, that's basically all I got right now. I didn't know when I heard about the summer series they were doing down in Texas for Collision and Ring of Honor,
Yes.
Clean Death Before Dishonor this past week. I didn't know what that vibe was going to be. I was kind of worried about how that they come off. It felt like it was going to be a smaller show from the sounds of it. I think that room only holds about 1,000 people. And after seeing now, I guess 2 weeks of Collision, at least one Ring of Honor taping and the pay-per-view itself, man, it's smaller, but on the Ring of Honor size, I love it because
Sure.
it brings me back to the days of when they were doing like the stage AEs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Like it's bringing back that vibe. I kind of like the different look, It's also amazing because I was looking up that venue and you've seen the stage, obviously the camera's on it all night. It's a different look. It feels different than everything else that they've done.
Yeah.
But that stage is permanent. That's the
Oh.
stage they use for the esports.
Okay.
And then it's all like, chairs and stuff. It's a flat room.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, I think it was the Ring of Honor pay-per-view I was watching. I said, or maybe it could have been in the taping, but I was like, oh, look, you can see outside because you can see the doors and they had the doors still open on the one side.
Okay.
So it was like the right front camera and you could see like the doors and security milling about and like they said outside.
Wow.
So like, again, not a huge building. I feel like they put commentary in the back like we would if we were doing a show in that building for another promotion.
Guerrilla style.
But I love, but I'm really kind of digging the vibe and the crowd showing up. We're 2 weeks deep in several live shows and tapings, and they're
I was
very
worried
active
about that
for
myself.
Yeah, like, what are they going to be like 2 or 3 weeks from now?
Correct.
Who knows? But
Are they going to be wrestled out?
it's such a large metropolitan area, and AEW goes down there a lot to begin with. So I'm really curious to see what they do with that. Obviously, if you're getting tickets to a recording session for Ring of Honor, you freaking want to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You are here for this product. And everything I've been seeing for WrestleTix over on Twitter is a really good site to see, like, okay, how are they doing? And you see, like, there's 10 tickets left, right, for this venue. So it's like, okay, they're hitting their expectations. That's great to see, reasons they're doing it, who knows? Got a good deal, want to save the budget, want to maybe Tony's tied up on the weekends with Jaguar training camp or something. I don't know right now where the NFL is. Riz would know better than me at this point. No, you're a baseball guy. That's right.
Baseball.
That's right. But anyways, I think it's been really interesting. Victor Benjamin, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. I don't know if you have any energy left to join us on the Patreon for a few minutes, but
I am dead.
he's dead. We're going to let him go, and we'll
I
see
was
what
at
happens on
Punch
the
King
Patreon.
at 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've been trying to keep you energized, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out,
Thank
though.
you for having me.
Always
as
good to catch up. You're a friend of the show, longtime friend of the show, and I'm glad
Yes,
to see you
sir.
guys doing some kick-ass stuff.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everything.
And obviously, we'll have you back on the 1-year anniversary of Punch King.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
All right. And then, of course, the Riz Plays Games.
yes. And I'm also going to be on D in Denial. I actually got it right the first time. This Thursday, doing Pearl of Hope.
There you go.
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Where do we find that?
On Twitch, D in Denial.
On the Twitch.
Just search it.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks you for the shouts. I cannot read the name over on the YouTube, but it's giving shouts on the great work over there. Much appreciated over there. There's a lot of interesting characters going on there. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned if you're on Patreon for a little bit here, and hopefully somebody will come on that has watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and we'll be talking about that too. I have so many thoughts on it.
You
I
do,
saw it twice.
I'm leaving right now.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
We'll
We're
see you
leaving.
guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.